In today's video, I will be showing you the Sony PVM name of 1390. Alright, what's going on, guys? So my name is PO17 or P017, and I wanted to bring you this really cool video on this particular set. So as you heard from the intro, this is a Sony PVM-1390. It is a CRT video monitor, so it's a little bit different than your average CRT TV, just like right here. This one in particular was made in, I believe, 1993. However, these ones were originally made since, I think, around 1987 or so. I'll have to double check on that, but that's why you have such a late 80s look to this set, which is really neat. There were two variants of this set. So there was, I believe, the KX-14CP1 is what it was called in Europe. And there was another version, I believe it was the KV-1311CR, which was the TV variant of this set. So we'll go ahead and take a look around at the set, show you a little bit of its features, show you its video quality, because this does look really, really nice for a early 90s PVM, and also go around on my experience with the set, because this was a unique situation that I got myself into with this particular set. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the front here. So right here you have your power button, really huge and clunky, with line A and line B. This is a switch between composite and S-video, and then you have this computer button here, which is pretty neat. So if you're set to line B and you hit the computer button, this engages your RGB connection. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that on the side after I show you down here. So this is where your front firing speaker is. It's just a mono speaker, and of course you have your Trinitron badge up there. Over on this right side here, this is where you get all your video inputs as well as your knob. So as you can see here on the top, you have your volume knob, picture knob, brightness, color, your hue or your tint, vertical hold, and H centering, or basically your position for horizontal on the image. And of course down here, line A, so like I said, composite video. This is through BNC, but I have an adapter here for RCA. Pretty simple to just plug and play. And of course you have mono audio in right below it via RCA. This up here, this is a switch for 75 ohm termination. So if you have external termination, so you can put a 75 ohm cap on this right here, you can turn this off and then that'll leave the image just as is, but you can turn this on for internal termination. So what that does is, basically speaking, if you have a composite video plugged in here and it's not terminated properly, your screen will be way, way, way too bright. So that's why proper termination is key for these older video monitors. Line B, of course, you have S-video in with another mono audio input, and you have a switch between S-video and VTR. VTR is basically videotape recorder. Digital RGB, of course, we don't use that, so we can't really utilize that port. Then over here is computer, or your RGB input, with a sync on green switch. This is a DB25 or a 25 pin connection that you can convert into RGB SCART with audio. So this does carry your audio and video input signals, which is really awesome. Of course, like I said, you can convert it via just an adapter plug that you can buy from online. Same thing as the Sony PVM-2030 and PVM-2530. However, it is different to the Sony GVM-1311Q, so just be aware of that. This doesn't work with every single Sony out there, but it works with most of them. Really cool, though. I don't have a plug for this, unfortunately, so I can't show you how RGB looks, but if I did, I would. However, S-video on this thing looks really nice. But before I show you the video, let's go ahead and show you the back. So as you can see down here with the model number, this is a PVM-1390. And I don't really remember where the manufacturing date was on this. I'll have to take a look, but... oh, there it is. I just found it. So, November 1993. So this was a pretty new monitor, actually, considering they switched to a different line shortly after this one. But this is how the back looks like. And then the left side over here, there's basically nothing. So, yeah. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about video quality on this particular set. So, this is a 450 TV line set. Aperture grill, because it's the Sony Trinitron. It looks surprisingly good, and in fact, I actually like this better than my Sony GVM and Sony SSM video monitors for 240p. So as you can see here, I'm running, once this goes back to the title screen, I'm running 240p on S-Video via my Super Nintendo. And it looks really, really clean. So the scan lines, being only a 13-inch monitor, it's not super defined, but it's just enough to where you can notice it very well. And it cleans up the image very nicely. So this particular set is really good with that. Now in terms of 480i, because these video monitors, I've always complained that some video monitors tend to not do 480i very well. This one surprised me a little bit, considering the fact that it does play stuff like GameCube, Xbox, PS2, and other game systems such as that from the 6th gen, surprisingly well. So you can use this for both 240p and 480i without really any hesitation, honestly. Also to mention, this is an SD-only set, so you only can use 240p and 480i on this. Even though this does says computer, this is mainly referring to very old computers that just use 240p as its input, so like old Commodores, stuff like that. But yeah, so in terms of its details, I really like it. I had to adjust the colors just a little bit on this set, so because this does not have a service menu, you have to adjust it via potentiometers on the neck board for the colors, but it turned out pretty good. So overall, the set is quite nice. But yeah, with the late 80s styling of this set in particular, and just how this looks like, I think this is a really solid set for if you come across it. So if anybody else has one of these, to let me know your experiences on it. Now I mentioned there were two other variants, the KX-14CP1 and the KV-1390CR. Two main differences you can tell besides looking at the back. The KX-14CP1 replaces this 25-pin port with the RGB SCART connector, so that's really cool. And the KV-1390CR does not have S-Video, and it has a 30-pin port instead of a 25-pin port that looks entirely different shape than this. It's rectangular instead of more oval shaped like that. And of course, with the KV-1390CR, you also get channel up and down, volume up and down on here. So, you know, because it was advertised as a TV versus a video monitor, such as the other two that I mentioned. So, this is in a family of 3. Unfortunately, this is like the least capable one of all 3 of them, but it is still incredibly good. Now, in particular with this one, this was a unique experience because this CRT, when I bought it, turned on but had no video. So it really intrigued me because I wanted to look into it more, so that's why I bought it. And I went ahead and tested it up, plugged it in, turned it on, had no video. All the buttons seemed to work right, but it just wouldn't display anything, no audio, nothing like that. So I opened up the CRT. You would use basically just 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the same side, and then 2 on this side here. Let's see if I can get a clear shot. So 1 and 2, and then 2 more on the back. And then you could lift the whole entire cover off. And that revealed to me the problem pretty quickly, in fact. I looked down on the main board. What was the problem? Well, the board was cracked, and some of the traces had been compromised on this board. So this, in particular, was actually my first major repair job, you could say. So I know I worked on a KV-13 TR-24 a bit earlier. I made some videos on that, doing some solder joint repair just because some of them were cracked. This one, I had to do trace repair, so I had to essentially pull out the entire board and then retrace everything via wires. And once I let all that settle in, I plugged it back in. It took me a really long time to take out that board because there was so many different connectors that I had to pull out, as well as an entire metal bracket on the back that supports the entire chassis. But once I got it back in, I fired it right up, and as you can see, it works perfect. So, I'm really happy about this. This is my first ever successful major repair job with this CRT, and the results were awesome. So, I'm very happy. Other than that, that's pretty much all I got with this set, so I can just let you enjoy a little bit more 240p on the Super Nintendo via Pocky and Rocky. I really like this game. It's such a fun game. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I got. So if you like this video, do give it the thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos if I ever decide to make any more. I know I kind of have a weird schedule. But yeah, tell me about your experience if you have one of these sets. So other than that, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.